listening to Sports Radio Detroit.
Welcome to episode 16 of Grave Discussions. I am your host, none other than Barnabas.
And I am your co-host, Samael.
Yeah, and if any of you have seen a particular movie called Hereditary over the last weekend, then you'll probably be able to familiarize yourself with that annoying ass sound that Sam is making.
We're gonna touch on things that we noticed during the movie, and like things that other people watching the movie were like whispering to each other.
Yeah.
And we'll let you know if it lived up to the hype.
Yep. The main segment of this particular episode is going to be our review of probably the most hyped up movie in actually a while, especially of this year, Hereditary. So stay tuned for that. Are you excited?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to talk about this. I've been kind of waiting to just let it all out, let everyone know what I think. So,
like, no matter what your feelings are about the movie, I feel like it's easy to like talk about it, and you like to talk about it, even if you fucking like hated the movie.
Yeah,
you know, it's just what's in horror right now. You know.
Yeah, I mean that's a big thing right now.
Yeah.
So after this kind of like slows down, I bet we're gonna get another one or two pretty good horror movies before Halloween can come out, because it is the summertime. So we're about to see some shit in like a week that no one announced was coming out. It's like The Box, and you open a box and you just die. Like something. Yeah. There's always one of those that comes around.
Well, I mean, I haven't seen it yet, but there was Ghost Stories that came out. There's that Barge People one. Remember that one? Like that one looked cool.
Oh, Barge People look cool.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening with it right now, but I don't think it's out yet.
Do you remember if it was supposed to come out yet? I thought it was like in May or some shit.
I want to say that it was still like in the festivals, which is why it hasn't come out yet. But I haven't like checked up on it recently, so I don't know.
That shit looked ridiculous.
Yeah, it did, for real. Like real like big throwbacks, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're pretty excited about those. Speaking of upcoming movies and things of that nature, we're gonna start you guys off this episode with some horror news, and the first one is, man, a little disappointing, honestly. Because it's about Friday the 13th.
Oh, man. So, as someone who plays the Friday the 13th game on the 360, and I have since the first day it came out, but the server still sucked on the first day, and we didn't get on it up until, like, the next day at, like, 11 p.m., and, like, lobbies kept lagging out, and, like, the guys kept releasing updates on Twitter letting us know what was going on, and, like, I made a lot of friends off that game, you know, I met a lot of cool people, and, like, it's unfortunate now that, well, you let them know what's going to happen.
Yeah, so basically, I actually wasn't like completely aware of this. I hadn't really been keeping up on it, but apparently it's been going on for a while. But if you're not familiar with the Friday the 13th legal controversy, basically, Friday the 13th is in limbo right now because the writer of the original film, and when I say original film, I mean Friday the 13th Part 1 with Pamela Voorhees. He was the writer. He had the rights to the film, the script. You know,
was he? Victor
Miller?
Yeah, that was him. Yep. Okay, that's the one everyone hates now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so, he ruined my gaming experience. Like,
I mean, but a lot of people are saying it's not his fault. But let me finish up saying, you know, what exactly happened. So Victor Miller sold the rights to Friday the 13th to I'm not sure if it was actually to this guy, I believe so, to Sean Cunningham, and for like $9,500, which now when you think about the Friday the 13th series, that's like, it's like, what, you did what? I'm sorry. but in like 1981, as you know, like an up and coming writer or whatever, if you have an opportunity to sell something, especially if you're not like sure about it, it's like, you know, this was like a fucking slasher horror movie, like, you know, it's probably not gonna last,
right?
you know, I'm sure that's kind of what people were thinking at that time, especially trying to like follow up on Halloween and stuff.
They didn't know how crazy people are like post 2000s.
Yeah.
Like people don't understand how far fanboys will go.
Oh yeah,
I don't want to say fanboys, cult fans.
yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
Like,
like
'cause
us.
I'm a fanboy. Like
Oh, yeah.
I'm a Friday fanboy and a Michael fanboy. So
Mhm.
like, I don't know, man. Like this is all very upsetting.
Yeah. So basically, he sold the rights. Sean Cunningham had him for a while, and then there was this law exposed. And the copyright laws are super fucking weird. I don't understand them at all. But that after 35 years, I think, you can try to terminate the agreement to, like, you know, the selling of copyright or rights, basically. So that happened. Victor Miller tried to terminate that deal. Sean Cunningham's like, no, you know, obviously I want to keep the rights to it. So they had a disagreement. Sean Cunningham sued Victor Miller. And now they're just in this like legal standstill, basically, which means that no Friday the 13th content can be created, basically. So no future movies.
We don't get Uber Jason on the game. We don't get the Grendel map.
Yeah.
We don't get new characters. All we're gonna get is like dedicated servers and bug fixes.
Yeah. So basically, all future like DLC,
Nothing new.
right, was affected as well as
That's
like
their main source
part
of
it.
income too. The devs,
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
the devs' main source of income was this content.
Yeah.
Like-
well, you know, because like, so no future Friday films can be created, so that's right, you know,
That's
out
upsetting.
of the water there.
Yeah,
you
because
know,
there was supposed to be that one later on in the year, wasn't there?
yeah, I believe so. So, but now Friday the 13th is a relatively newer game, so you know it went on for a while before it got swept up into this, but it's technically Friday the 13th. So you know it got caught in the net, and now it's fucked too. So until this gets resolved, which there's no judge ruling yet apparently on like a decision on the case. Yeah, until that happens, I mean, we're not going to get anything new Friday the 13th related, which just sucks like big time.
Yeah, I'm really upset. Like,
Yeah.
it's like all these horror movies that we normally talk about now recently, and now they're getting
Mhm.
Blu-ray releases or like remakes and shit. But
Yeah.
but not Jason. Jason's gonna be he's gonna be
Yeah.
on the sidelines for a while. So
Yeah,
upsetting.
probably for a little bit, honestly. Yeah. But yeah, man, I mean, it sucks. You know, a lot of people are taking one side or the other in this case. Actually, nobody's like really defending Sean Cunningham that much, because I think like by this point,
Yeah, bro. You're supposed to have made enough money off the time they've given you.
like, okay,
Like
you're
if
gonna,
you can't promote your products well,
right.
or like that's your fault. You know how many people
Mm,
bought the Friday game? How many people buy the Friday
yeah.
the re-release Blu-rays from, like, let's say he owned the whatever.
Yeah. I mean, look, like, you know, I'll say this: the Friday the 13th remake was okay at best, but honestly, I wouldn't want my name attached to that. So after that, I would just been like, all right, you want the rights back? Take them. You know, I made enough money off this. It's cool. But Sean Cunningham's being greedy as shit, so now people are kind of more, you know, rooting for Victor Miller to come out of this. I mean, it is his work, basically.
Yeah, he
You know?
was a co-writer of the
Yeah.
script.
And with that one law, I mean, technically he can legally, you know, file to terminate
think
that
about
deal.
it.
So
If someone like took our intellectual property and they're like, no,
Mhm.
I want it, it's mine. It makes me money. It's like, yeah, well, I wrote it. You know, and
yeah,
should be making it. I gave you. You got your time.
I mean,
your
yeah,
time is up.
it's a change of mind clause, and for this, I'm not surprised at all. Obviously, because Friday the 13th is so successful. But yeah, I think Sean Cunningham's kind of a cunt bag, and I think that he should just let his grubby mitts go, and you know, let somebody else take the reins.
I agree, man.
So,
Like I think it's kind of petty that they're both going through this.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, like I said, I'm kind of taking Victor Miller's side because he wrote it.
Right.
He helped write it. It's his.
Yeah, it's his
Like
baby.
I said, imagine if someone like took grave discussions and they were like, "Yo, you know, this is ours now. It makes us a lot of money." They had like a
Yeah.
YouTube series. They switched it up. You know,
Right, yeah.
went all like commercial.
They replaced us for like, you know, less good looking hosts, you know.
Like there's a guy like, he's like he looks like you, but he's like really short.
Yeah.
And there's a guy that looks like me, but he's like really like obese as shit. Like can't even fit through the door type shit. Like they just never show themselves on camera. They wear masks.
Yeah.
And they don't wear regular clothes. We'll see them wearing robes because they're just.
Mm.
It's just a sad mess. When you take the original and like the original creators of something, and they start fucking with the actual idea of it, then everything's gonna fuck up. Like, and you're just gonna get into a lot of disputes over something that's not even yours, that you just wanted to make money off of. So
yeah, I agree. So we'll see what comes out of it. Right now it's just in limbo. So if you're a fan of the Friday the 13th game, sucks to be you, I guess. I don't know what else to say. You're welcome. Yeah,
that's okay. We still got Dead by Daylight.
Yeah,
I'm happy about that.
There's still always new stuff being released by that game. So.
Plus, you can still play Friday the 13th.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, no matter what. So.
Exactly.
All right, we're gonna move on here to our next news story. I'll probably keep this one short. If you're a fan of Stranger Things like we are, you'll be excited by this. Also, if you're a video game fan, particularly of Telltale games, you may be familiar with that studio. They did The Walking Dead. They did the Wolf Among Us and Game of Thrones, and I think a few other ones, Batman maybe. The Telltale games, they're iconic at this point now. It's all the like decision-making games, like,
yeah, bro,
this character will remember that, or
I
whatever.
beat every single Walking Dead game,
Yeah.
every episode of every game. Like, I was a loser with that, but I'll probably get it. Is this going to be like a choose-your-own-adventure game?
I don't know. I think usually they follow like a pretty linear like storyline, except that, you know, your path can like diverge depending on like the choices that you make. But for the most part, the actual like story is probably the same. So I imagine that's what it's going to be, especially because the show is so linear. But you know, obviously, like whatever choices you make, like you might end up getting one of the party killed or something or whatever, you know,
right?
Or like you might get the cops killed. I don't know, whatever.
I hope it's not like a continuation. I hope it's like,
yeah,
just like another world within that canon.
Yeah, like something new,
like other people that found out about it too.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool. That's kind of what The Walking Dead is. I mean, it doesn't cover like Rick and all of them. It covers like just this other like survivor group. Yeah,
Lee and Clementine.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, maybe that might be what they do. I mean, I don't know. I think the kids are so popular now, and they probably would like lend their talent to the game. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's those characters. But yeah, we'll see. Either way, it's going to be something totally different. So,
do you know when it's coming out?
The article does not have a release date, so it's just in the works. I would expect if it's like being worked on now, probably next year sometime, or potentially like 2 years from now.
Yeah.
I don't know. Obviously, I'm sure they don't want to keep it like locked away for too long, because I mean, I'm sure the show will still go on for a bit, but
people's interest in it.
Yeah, eventually it's just gonna wean out eventually, you know.
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah, just, you know, keep a lookout on that. Most likely it'll be featured at like E3 or something. But we're gonna move on to this last bit of actual news here, this last article, and this one is about the brand new Godzilla animated movie that's going to be coming out. So I haven't actually seen it, but there is a Godzilla animated movie from like last year on Netflix, and it was the Netflix original, I believe.
So it's like
correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, basically. I mean, you know, like the new Voltron, it's kind of like in that same style. So I mean, I guess you could call it a cartoon, but I don't know if it's like
it's like a metallic cartoon.
Yeah, I don't know if it's more like adult or not. Which is possible. I don't know. It's fucking Godzilla, you know, he's just stomping around killing people. But yeah, if you're a fan of that or just Godzilla in general, I'm probably going to watch it. There's a second movie coming out called Godzilla City on the Edge of Battle, and it's actually purported to be out on Netflix later this week. So by the time you're hearing this, it's probably going to be like the weekend. So it'll probably be out maybe. So keep an eye out, because if you like it, then it's gonna be out there.
I might take a look, but animated shit sucks nowadays, so we'll see.
I don't know, bro. I think there's a lot of really good animated stuff out now, actually.
You know me, I don't get my hopes up. Like,
I know, but like Big Mouth and Archer and
Archer's dope.
Yeah, like all of those shows. Rick and Morty obviously is a big one.
Oh, Final Space.
Oh yeah, I still have to watch it, but I know about that show. Yeah.
We're gonna watch that shit.
Okay. But like all those shows are really good, and from what I've heard about the Godzilla animated movie, it's actually pretty solid. So yeah, I'm probably gonna check it out.
Awesome.
Yeah. So let's move on now. I got a couple trailer announcements for you guys. We're still, waving by to the terrifying trailer segment.
This trailer seems the title of this movie seems a little.
Which one?
It seems like it's innuendo. The Little Stranger.
Oh, yeah.
Who are you? What are you doing?
It's
under
my little ghost dick.
Devil's chode.
I hope that's not. Yeah, I hope that's not what it is. Anyway,
Oh man.
I guess since you brought it up, we'll talk about that trailer and leave the best for last. That sounds good to me. So we'll keep this short and sweet. Just so you guys can kind of check them out. There's some new trailers. The first one is called The Little Stranger, and it's by the director of the film Room with I forget her name. I think it's Brie Larson. Yeah, it was like critically acclaimed. It came out a few years ago. It wasn't horror, but it was like a drama thriller.
Those are really good usually.
Yeah, and
Those are one like the only good genres like still releasing great films. Like
yeah, I agree.
dramas and thrillers like.
And especially when you mix them together, like Prisoners. You remember Prisoners? That movie was dope.
Did you ever see what is it with Halle Berry? Like she was trying to stop that killer. Oh my god. One missed call.
No,
I forgot what it was, but it was so good. And then
it wasn't Gothica, was it?
No. It was recent.
The Cell? Was that it?
I think it was Cell.
Or maybe like the one where she's like a phone
Exactly,
thing.
yeah,
Okay,
that's
I forget what it's called.
Do you remember? I just blinked out. Never mind.
It's cool.
Okay.
We should just talk about this one real quick, but it is by that director, based on a novel I believe by the same name by Sarah Waters, and essentially the film kind of appears to be like your classic ghost story. It's got Domhnall Gleeson, which I'm familiar with him, but I can't like
I'm better with
recall off the top of my head.
If
like
you show me
where
a photo of him, I might know who it is. One of those.
But he's been pretty popular as of late. It's also got Ruth Wilson from the Affair television show, and she's also been in a bunch of movies. They star in this film about a country doctor who gets hired or sees a patient at this like huge place where his mother once worked as a handmaid or a housemaid, and he starts taking care of her and like the family and everything, and basically there's a paranormal presence like it on the grounds. So and it's set like way back, so it kind of it looks like your typical kind of like cool gothic ghost story. So
I like those.
Yeah, me too. So be on the lookout for that one. It is actually scheduled to come out in theaters August 31st of this year.
Oh shit, so it's soon.
It's coming up. Yeah,
it's only 2 more months.
So
for we know it, winter's gonna be back again.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Fucking A.
I know, I hate it. So the next trailer we just want to tell you guys about is called The Ninth Passenger, coming out on DVD, digital, and on demand, probably also on Blu-ray. I don't know why you wouldn't release it on Blu-ray, but August 21st is the date for that release.
Oh shit, so it's like a straight to streaming and straight to sales basically.
Yeah, it was probably out in some festivals or something. Sometimes they do that.
That's pretty cool. Like I like non-cinema movies.
Yeah, right.
Those are dope. They've had plenty of like straight to DVD releases.
Oh, yeah, that were really good.
Like they had even like like series like movie series like the 8 Films to Die For. They were all part of like that just one set. Like you'd have to find the 8 movies separately. They wouldn't sell them together. So
exactly.
You go to Walmart, they have 2 out of the 8 movies, so you grab them. Then you go to the Walmart 3 miles down the block, like,
and then like FYE's got like 4 of them, and you're like,
right?
Oh, shit.
And then like you just get them all within 2 weeks, and you're like, you watch them all, and you're like, wow.
Yeah.
Like Grave Dancers and Unrest are so good.
I also watched I think it was called Border or something like that.
Penny Dreadful. Have you watched that?
Yeah, Penny Dreadful was great. Yeah, I like that one a lot. So yeah, those are really cool. But it's basically the film The Ninth Passenger is about 8 students who set out on a sea voyage aboard this yacht.
Ooh.
And their boat basically breaks down, and then they're apparently hunted one by one by a mysterious passenger, and then it says, but is it a passenger? So the actual DVD cover looks like some fucking Cthulhu giant squid type shit or something. I don't know. Yeah, like some kraken or something.
Oh man, that's
like coming out from the water. So I don't know what it is.
Interesting though.
Yeah.
Oh dude, from the fucking executive producer of it.
It follows. Yeah.
Such a great movie. I know we covered it already, but
yeah,
I had to reiterate because. Okay, now I'm
yeah,
when
you're
does
like
this
excited,
come out?
right?
You said August
21st. Yep.
Yeah, we're buying this. We're watching.
I want to buy it. Yeah. So I've not checked out the trailer yet, but if you're interested, as we are, definitely do yourself a favor and check it out.
We should watch this after.
Yeah, I want to for sure. So, and the last one is going to be about
I've been waiting for this.
The Nun.
September 7th?
Yes.
Jeez, oh, Pete.
Hitting theater September 7th.
You know why they're doing that?
Why?
You know why it's September?
Why?
You know what's coming out in October?
Halloween.
Yeah, no one's going to come near as many.
No.
I'm going to call it right now. Nothing is going to make as much this year in horror as Halloween is going to make.
All right.
Because Michael is the king.
He is. But I mean, The Conjuring's still on kind of a wave. It could.
It is, but
It
I
could
think
beat it.
you know how many diehard Myers fans there are.
Yeah.
Everyone in
I know.
America.
All right, we'll make a bet. I don't know for what, but we'll make a bet. I'll bet that The Nun will do better
Oh,
by like the end of the year.
by the end of the year?
Yeah, or maybe a month.
I think the Michael movie's going to do a lot better.
or like maybe a month after the movie's out or something. I don't know.
I don't know. I think Michael is going to break records the first week.
Yeah.
Not even first. First, I give them the first 3 days. I'm going to say they're going to make at least... Let's see. What do you think is a smart figure? What would you say? And
Halloween. By when?
3 days.
3 days. So what? Like the start of Monday, like the typical like box office weekend.
So from Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Friday, Saturday,
yeah.
Sunday. Okay. So like as of the morning of that Monday, which one will make more money?
Like no, which one? Like how much do you think Halloween?
Oh,
is
how
gonna
much?
make?
I'm sorry. I would say.
You think it's gonna hit the 30 mark?
30 million?
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Think
I
it's
was-
gonna hit 60,
I was thinking maybe like
90.
55, 60 million. Maybe 70.
I was
But
thinking
I
like
don't know.
60,
Yeah.
and then I was like, no, wait, that's not a lot. And
Well, it is a lot for like an opening weekend.
for like an open. I'm gonna call it
Yeah.
right now. Let's say they're gonna make
Yeah, let's give it like an exact number.
55 mil.
55 million?
I'm gonna play it safe.
Okay. Well, we're not really betting on this one, but I would say
Opening weekend, like that's
that or
my-
like 60.
yeah, that's my estimate around there.
Okay. All right.
And then we'll see what the Conjuring is gonna make before
Or
that.
the Nun, yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I know what you meant.
You know what I meant. Yeah, everyone else did too.
Yeah. So, okay, we'll see about that. Let us know your thoughts on that because I'm definitely interested.
Oh
but
yeah.
basically, so the Nun trailer came out today. We were really excited about this
Yeah,
one.
that looked fucking sick. It's
Yeah.
fucking. What time was that? I don't know. Like
Oh, like
fucking Renaissance. Like
I don't know. I have
Crusade
no idea.
time. Like I don't know where
Yeah,
people were
probably
getting
like
killed
the
for Jesus.
probably
back
like
then.
the late 20th or not 20th. Like the
Holy
late,
shit,
like
man.
the late 19th century or maybe early 20th century or
Yeah,
something like
because
that.
they were like
It
old.
was some Dracula times.
Yeah, you could tell like they were like they were old, but like they were civilized. You know, they weren't crapping in caves and shit. Like
Yeah.
you know, like so
Yeah.
we knew we moved along the timeline of life very
Yeah.
well, and then that was at a good point where there was like still religious dogma around the world, and like
Yeah.
everyone was sort of forced into it because I mean you couldn't really be a heretic, otherwise the church would cut your head off.
Yeah. And yeah, basically. So,
Such a great time.
right? So then the Nun is set at like an undetermined time, but you know, it's like olden days. Well, the actual synopsis says, when a young nun at a cloistered abbey in Romania takes her own life, a priest,
so
a
that's
priest with
what-
a haunted past and a novitiate on the threshold of her final vows are sent by the Vatican to investigate. So that's basically what happens. So that makes sense.
So I think he's gonna. You think that guy that they mentioned is gonna like the priest with the horrid past? So he's gonna probably be the protagonist with like the inner
Mhm.
struggle and all that shit. So
Yeah, but I believe it's
I think
the,
he's gonna fail. I think this is gonna be an. Hey, can I call it no hope movie?
You think?
Yep.
Maybe. I mean, we obviously see that Valak
Well, you can never kill a demon.
like lives
so-
on, yeah, and like comes back or whatever at least. So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe the priest survives, or maybe the novitiate arrives, the girl. But I think it's her that we see in the trailer getting like attacked.
How much you want to
basically.
bet one of these people is gonna be related to?
The Warrens?
Yeah,
You think?
yeah.
Oh,
I think this is where it's gonna start off.
okay. Well, the Warrens or like the actual family from the Conjuring 2. I forget their names.
I think it might. I think it's
Huh.
gonna. So Valak controls Annabelle, who is like a cult member, right? That's the
Mhm.
whole thing. So, yeah. I think it's. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll see. I don't know.
it's probably gonna follow Elizabeth Warren. It's like her like.
Yeah, it
like
does.
her-
It does like haunt her. Yeah, we'll see. But check out the trailer for that.
It's a hereditary thing, you know.
I see. The movie's gonna be coming out September 7th. You can go check out the trailer right now.
You go check out the trailer.
I did.
Good job.
Thanks. All right. So that's our news for the day. Let us know what you're excited about, what you think about the news that we gave. And we're going to move on now to the Cult Corner. And this week's Cult Corner is going to be about a pretty lesser known film, I feel like. I don't know, you had to tell me about this one. I had no idea, but it's called 976 Evil.
Oh my god. You know, when I was maybe 9, 10, 11 years old, and I used to go to that video store right before the last street by the CVS. You remember?
Yeah.
So back in the day, I used to like walk by and I used to see these films, 976 Evil and 976 Evil Part 2. The guy that played Evil Ed was on the cover of 976 Evil, and he had this demonic face. And I always thought it looked interesting, and I never got a chance to watch it. So here comes middle school. Middle school comes out. I'm a little bit older. I find 976 Evil on FearNet. I watched it, and it freaked me the fuck out, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about the light. It's not the lighting. It's just the atmosphere of like the movie. Like that's one of those atmospheric movies. Like it doesn't.
It was pretty like. I mean, it was pretty dark, but it was just had this like creepy mood to it. I don't know how else to explain it.
It really did. It was like a lingering like evil in every frame. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like as soon as what's his name, Spike, was it Spike who picked it up and called it? Well, we knew something was up when a random person got killed right at the beginning. Yeah. But as soon as Spike started, like, he called the number 976 Evil, like, and shit started unfolding.
Yeah, that was the older guy, but then it was Hoax, portrayed by Stephen Jeffries, who played Evil Ed, who like really got into it, and then fucking Satan like possessed him.
I remember it was like the same character as Evil Ed, basically. Once he became possessed, like he was like the weird kid, you know, like he was treated differently by his mom, his cousin, like by people at school, you know, and like I don't know, there was themes about like neglect in this film, and like how people with mental issues get treated like they're monsters.
Yeah, because I mean, his cousin Spike was like this, like, you know, motorcycle driving, like, you know, leather jacket wearing,
long blonde hair.
Yeah, exactly.
That was, I don't know if it was blonde. I think he had brown hair.
Maybe like black even. I don't know.
Like he was like the stereotypical like post greaser, post greaser. It was like the metal heads of like the 80s.
Fucking neo greaser.
Like the tight leather pants, motorcycles, exactly. You know.
Yeah, so he was like the cool guy. You know, he got all the girls and shit. And his cousin Hoax was basically like the fucking nerd. You know, like he couldn't get the girl. He was really awkward. Like
he was getting his ass whooped. Like he only didn't get his ass whooped because like Spike is his cousin. You know.
Yeah, exactly. But otherwise, he was like completely miserable. So once they encounter this like random call line for, you know, 976 Evil, and then you just like hear all this weird shit. And, you know, obviously it has an influence on the caller. Like it tries to basically possess them. And so Hoax, being as vulnerable as he is, he's like, oh fuck yeah, and he starts getting revenge on all the people who like fucked with him, you know.
Oh man, when he tore those kids up in the bathroom.
Oh yeah,
that bathroom, I don't know what it is about that bathroom, but like that like something eerie about it. I think it's because it was so old and run down, and like it wasn't a real urban setting. It was like more of like a just a crap, like, you know,
because I was just thinking
like a poor setting.
I was just thinking of that like public bathroom area from like Candyman. Like that shit was the stuff of nightmares, you know.
Yeah, that was weird as fuck.
I was like, damn, like how does this compare?
This one was like implicitly like something was weird, like, and it wasn't even about the bathroom, like the feeling they wanted you, like, but I don't know, like watch it, like peep the bathroom vibe. It was just I don't know, man. Like I also
remember pretty well that
the fact that it's run down, you know, like, I think that's what really contributes to like the eeriness of it.
No, I agree. Yeah, those are always like the fucking worst. I hate even going into those bathrooms. I'm just like, I'll hold it.
And that, along with the score of the movie, was like the bread and butter.
Yeah, I enjoyed the score a lot. So, I mean, the movie came out in 1988, and it was actually directed by Robert Englund, Freddy Krueger himself.
Yep.
So you already know that it's going to be really good, because he basically portrays one of the most popular horror icons of all time. So he has to know how to make a good fucking horror movie, you know.
Freddy's back from the dead, and he's directing cinema.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought it was really great. It even actually, I'm not sure if it was a box office success. It grossed about $3 million, close to, but I have no idea what the budget is. I just like looked everywhere and I couldn't find it, so it was probably less than that, honestly.
Yeah.
So it was a success. So I think that lends to its like cult status, but also it's got people like us who are like actually fans of it. And I think anything with Stephen Jeffries, and he wasn't in a lot of stuff, but anything with him is just cult.
Honestly, he's like one of the best at. Is he still around?
Yeah, I think he is, but he's not. I don't think he's really doing movies anymore. I'm not sure.
That's sad.
I know. I mean, it's never going to be the same. Like him as a kid, like in those roles, like Evil Ed and Hoax. It's just never going to be the same.
Yeah,
you know?
it's not. He was like the main reason I watched the movie, honestly, because he was the only one. I was like, yo, he's from Fright Night.
He just has that crazy personality and like voice, and he's like jittery. He's like, you're so cool, Brewster. Like, what?
He's just that one. He's like that one kid in town that just knows everything about weird shit, like about vampires and witches.
Like
and
you don't really want to talk to him, but you know, if you get into some like occult shit, then he's your guy.
Yeah, he seems like one of those guys, like me.
Yeah, exactly.
Except I'm not. You know.
Sometimes.
It depends.
Yeah, it depends on your mood.
Just give me a lot of sugar and
you moody son of a bitch. No, but yeah. So that's what I think about that. So I think it's super cult, and I enjoy it a lot. If you like, you know, all these like basically like Night of the Demons, I would say if you like Night of the Demons, you'll probably like this movie.
It's super 80s vibe, man.
Yeah,
that's why I liked it. Like I wasn't alive back then, but like the nostalgia of it, like I don't know, just when you hear hit songs from that era, it just kind of reflects. You back. Yeah. You just kind of get the whole 80s and just that one movie. Like, you got I don't know, everyone's just like a metalhead. They're chilling. They're doing witchcraft and summoning demons. You know, typical 1980s stuff. So
yeah, everybody did that in the 80s.
Like, the way they talk, too. You know, it's not like when you watch modern movies. What the fuck boy? Like, you know, like, it wasn't like that.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know what kind of movies you're watching, bro.
There's horror movies where they talk shit like that.
I know, like all those fucking party movies.
Fuck boy.
Yeah. Oh man, here's something else.
This is not one of those. This is a fucking great piece of art.
Yeah, definitely check out 976 Evil if you have not. There is a sequel as well, which I actually haven't seen.
It's on Amazon. What's it called?
Oh, Prime. Oh yeah, it is on Amazon Prime.
I gotta watch that. I gotta watch that later tonight if you don't.
I am so down. But I know that Patrick O'Brien, who played Spike in the first movie, is back. And if you knew what happened to Stephen Jeffries' character, you know why he is not back. But yeah. Go check that out too if you haven't, and let us know your thoughts on 976 Evil.
You'll like it if you're unfamiliar with it. If you like anything else from the 1980s that's supernatural, I think this was more on the side of extreme supernatural, because there was supernatural shit like where stuff goes bump and people go flying on strings, and then there's like the more demonic side, like this demons, Night of the Demons, Evil Dead. Like this is in that realm of like
crazy demon shit.
Yeah, like real life, like person becoming a demon, tearing shit up. So you'll like it. It's like it's one of those Friday night movies. You know, it's
I agree.
It's 6 p.m. You just got finished with your homework.
Yeah,
you know, you're a kid. You're just like, yo, fuck this. You put some popcorn in the fucking microwave. Hopefully, you know that's where you put popcorn. You know, put it under your house. So you put popcorn. You put the popcorn in the microwave. You sit down and you watch 976 Evil, and then you gotta watch 3 episodes of SpongeBob so you don't have nightmares before you go to sleep.
Did you put popcorn under your house?
So like in the second one we still gotta watch. So
I think that was an admission of guilt, folks.
I hope they like release a new one, because like a lot of these cult movies are getting. Hopefully, hey, you want to call it's gonna get a Blu-ray release if it didn't already? Like, because we're always on top of that.
The first movie.
If you didn't know, to our viewers, if you didn't notice, every time we mention a movie on here, like it's like it gets released on Blu-ray,
or like on Shudder, or like a streaming service of some kind.
Like every time we mention it,
for real,
we're calling it, man. We are the soul. We are the soul of this genre. Okay, from 1920 monster movies to Psycho, which took all the monster movies and brought them to like the real world and not some gothic, you know, fantasy land from like the year 1200. Oh shit. You know, so if you're like a real fan of horror, I mean, like you'll appreciate this shit. That's my main point. Like, yeah, I agree. This is one of like I would say like this is one of the higher end cult movies, because some cult movies are shit, you know. Yeah, I agree. I wonder what movie we're going to talk about next, and then it's just going to appear on Blu-ray magically. Yeah. Because we're good at calling that shit.
I definitely agree. We'll see. Yeah, I'm excited. It might already be out. I'm not sure, but I'll have to take a look. So check that one out if you haven't yet. And we're going to move on now to a movie that I believe a lot of people have seen already. And if you hadn't, you probably should. And you probably shouldn't listen to this review either, because most likely we're going to give spoilers. I think that's the only real like fair way to approach this review.
Yeah.
But we're going to be talking about none other than Hereditary. All right, so you probably know all about it. It's been talked about for months now. Actually, probably even longer than that. But the new A24 release, Hereditary, has been taking the horror world by storm. And Samael, I want to know your first like initial thoughts on Hereditary, like as you left the theater.
As I left the theater, I was like, very, very emotion-invoking movie. Like I almost cried like 3 times, you know.
Oh
like,
shit, for real?
Yeah, bro, it was really emotion-invoking.
Yeah.
Like, but it was not even close to being as scary as people said it was. Like,
Oh no way.
like when they were like, "Oh, we took people's heart rates," and
Oh yeah, fuck that shit.
it wasn't more like horror than it was like shock value. Like,
yeah.
like when when she hit the fucking pole and her fucking.
Oh yeah, she just bounced off that shit.
See, like my hands were on my mouth, but I was like, "Oh my god, that's so horrible." It's not like,
Right, yeah.
"Oh my god, that's so
It
terrifying."
was more
Like,
sad.
yeah, but it
if
was
anything.
like really traumatic.
Yeah.
Traumatic shit. Like
Mm-hmm.
the main themes of this whole thing is just schizophrenia and like family neglect.
Yeah, I would
and-
say it's more family related, obviously, than
Yeah.
like specifically schizophrenia. Because honestly, basically, spoiler alert. By the end of the film, you kind of realize that everything was actually pretty real, and she wasn't going crazy. I mean, she definitely had like a mental break. But anyway, before we discuss all of that like in detail, if you're not familiar with the movie that much,
Turn this shit off.
well,
We don't want to ruin
go
it.
see it and then come back, because we're going to be giving spoilers. But basically, the film is about a family. There's a mom and a dad, and then a teenage son and a younger daughter, probably like 11 or 12 or something. And the matriarch of that family, the grandma, actually passed away like before the events of the film started. And it was kind of like a quiet funeral, but apparently she was very secretive. She didn't really talk a lot to the family, like in general. She wasn't really there for like a lot of them, except for the younger daughter. She wouldn't even let her mom really like touch the younger daughter that much. So she passes away, and then all kinds of just weird shit start happening, and it mostly is affecting the little girl Charlie. And she ends up actually dying in like the first, I don't know, third or something of the film.
It was fucking crazy.
And that just makes everything spiral down.
Like I thought maybe he was gonna, man. He swerved to avoid a deer.
Mm-hmm.
He was going 90 because she was having her like she was having a freak out because she needed her EpiPen because she has diabetes, and her brother like let her eat chocolate at the party.
Or was it that, or was it like a nut allergy? I think it was like a nut allergy or something, wasn't it? That's why she needed an EpiPen.
I thought she was diabetic or something.
No, I think she had like a severe like nut allergy.
Damn, maybe I think the chocolate had nuts drizzled
and
on it or
the
something.
EpiPen like works against that.
And like her fucking throat closed up, so he was
Yeah.
driving 90 and he swerved to avoid like a buck on the road,
Mm-hmm.
and her head just fucking crack. Oh my
Yeah.
god, bro, that shot right from the back, like
It hit this fucking pole, and it literally just snapped back like hard as fuck. And she was just actually,
Yo,
it
you know what's
literally took
fucking,
her head
uh,
off. She was decapitated.
you know what's crazy? You know what I never hold on. Okay, I didn't think about this till now. So she got decapitated, right?
Yeah.
So when her brother got home, did he just throw the head on the floor because it was outside the?
No, bro. It was at the pole. Like he just left it there. He literally left
did
it
he?
there. Yeah. He was sitting in the car like, what the fuck just happened? What did I just do? Remember that
remember her-
long ass
oh, yeah,
shot for like 5 minutes,
Yeah.
and then you could see her head in like the daylight the next morning, covered with all those fucking worms and shit. You know.
Her mom screaming, "I want to die!" When
Yeah.
that was all fucked up.
So basically, he just pulled up.
Emotion invoking, definitely
with
not
the-
scary.
Oh, definitely. With the headless body still in the car, and he just fucking walked inside and went to sleep.
Shock value 10 out of 10. I didn't expect
Yeah.
her head to get knocked off.
Listen, I'll say this about the movie. It was supremely disturbing.
It was unsettling.
Yeah.
Like that. It was weird as fuck. I'm not gonna. It wasn't like
It was.
a normal horror movie. Like
Yeah.
when Peter was having like the, or was it what's her name? Was it his mom that was having like the dream
Yeah,
about,
Annie.
about soaking him in kerosene again and
Oh
fucking
yeah, because she
lighting him on fire.
sleepwalked or
Like, what
something.
the fuck, bro? Like,
Yeah, this family was fucked up, and it was all apparently due to the grandma. She had all these secrets. We get hints like here and there. There's this sigil. So you can tell that she was probably involved in something that, she shouldn't have been involved in, but caused her to gain success and everything. And basically at the end of the film, it's revealed that she was like the queen of this satanic cult or this demonic cult, and they raised this demon. What was his name again? Paimon, yeah. They summoned this demon. It actually took the form, or possessed potentially.
so like when the grandma died, like it was in her, but once she died, the little girl inherited,
Right.
the Paimon, I guess.
Yeah, because the queen actually had all the success and riches due to that, but I believe it was like, she promised to host the demon or something, and then it would pass on. That's why it's hereditary, like it passes on throughout the family. And even though there was a book that said that it preferred men or boys, it actually ended up possessing Charlie, and we kind of discover that, being Charlie really, and then she dies, and it just keeps passing on.
Yeah,
So it's like crazy.
Where'd it go after?
It went to the kid, I think, to Charlie.
They did it because it went to her, the mom first.
Yeah, but then how did she get rid of it? I forget.
She cut her throat, and then Charlie jumped out a window.
Right. You're right. Yeah.
She cut her own fucking. Oh my.
Yes.
Okay, so there was one scene in particular that I don't know. I'm pretty sure it scared the shit out of both of us.
Yeah, I agree.
So Charlie's sleeping in his room, and I didn't notice anything. Barnabas is like, "Yo, what's that in the background?" Yo,
Yeah.
this fucking lady was in the corner of the ceiling behind him,
Yeah.
watching him sleep. He woke up. She was gone. He walks into the living room. He sees his dad got set on fire. Like,
and there's like this figure like in the doorway in the back, but then it tilts up, and you can see the mom again, just like on the fucking ceiling.
dude, when she crawled through the fucking air.
Yeah, that
you
was
remember
crazy.
That? Like
yeah.
she crawled through the air, bro. Like,
That was crazy.
but then like when he sees the figure, and then his mom disappears from behind him, and then she's in the corner of the room, she starts chasing him.
Yeah.
So Charlie ends up in this fucking attic, and he closes the door, and like his mom's on the ceiling just banging her fucking
Or
head.
Peter gets locked up in the attic. Yeah, but
Did I say Peter?
I think you said Charlie.
Yeah, I don't know why I said Charlie.
The boy.
Yeah, Peter gets locked in the attic, and like she gets on the door upside down, starts banging her head on it.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Charlie turns around, he sees like 3 naked figures just smiling at him.
Yeah.
And then his mom's cutting her own head off. And
Members of the cult.
yeah, and he just fucking...
Describe how the mom was.
Bro,
Do you remember?
she just... I couldn't really see her face.
Yeah, she was
had this-
hung
Yeah, and she was cutting her own fucking head off slowly.
with like a wire or something. Like she was
And,
just
like,
sawing.
Not Charlie. Jesus Christ.
Peter.
Peter was like... he just watched it, and then like...
yeah.
I guess he saw those naked people, and he's like, I'm out.
Yeah, he
Killed
just dived
himself.
through the window.
And then we see Paimon, a.k.a. Charlie, right?
yeah.
We see her
yeah.
spirit enter into Peter, and we know it's her because, like, after it enters, you hear it.
Yeah, that's what she did.
The
That was
click.
her thing. Yeah.
And I mean, it had one of the funny parts though, like the guy who played the son. What was the son's?
Alex Wolff is the actor, but
Alex Wolff
Peter,
is
yeah.
Peter. So when like when his parents were like arguing, and like Peter turns to his dad, he's like. And he like grabs him, like he hugged his dad. He was like, like
that like really terrible like cry. Oh my god.
like that. I didn't get my candy from the candy store.
Right. Yeah.
Mom's a cheapskate. Fucking.
Oh man.
Oh man.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. So that was one thing I didn't like about it. Sometimes listen, I thought that the acting was phenomenal. Toni Collette was amazing. Okay, the mom.
Most people
she
like
was great.
You would like if you saw that role played by anyone else, it would look like super over dramatic.
Yeah,
like not realistic, but like you could. She looked like she was legit losing her fucking shit.
Yeah, she's just so good at playing like that person who just gets fucked up, like their mind breaks and shit. I don't know. That's what I think. She's a really good actress. The acting was great, but sometimes like in that crying example that you gave, it was a little over the top, so it kind of took me out of it. And they were almost like too sad all the time. I was like, damn.
Yeah, that was a really depressing movie.
Are these real people? You know? But obviously they were affected by this fucking terrible thing, so.
Yeah, like whatchamacallit, Annie lost her mom, and then she lost her daughter, and I think it was just overbearing, and like on top of having these emotional issues, like family issues, and existential issues. Like she goes to this counseling group, right? And she meets a lady over there, and we didn't find out till later. That lady seemed like she was trying to help Annie so she can contact the dead, but once she started contacting the dead, it was like when all this shit started like really like setting off. And like we find out later that this lady was Annie's mom's friend, and like she was a part of this like cult, I guess, this demonic cult or this coven. And like she was like setting Annie up at every stop, pretending to be empathetic because she had lost her son and her husband. Yeah,
she wanted her to break so that she can kill herself, so that Paimon will have this new host that they can worship. That was basically the whole thing. But so that was kind of cool. I predicted that she was going to have something to do with that. So it wasn't like something wholly like unique or anything. Obviously she had some kind of a significant part, even if it was hidden. But so there were a lot of hints, and there were like some cool little subtle like supernatural elements here and there. But honestly, not really a lot happened in like the first 2/3 of the movie.
Like you get the weird guy smiling at Charlie at the beginning, but he's a cult member. Yeah. And then you get like when Peter was looking at his reflection and he like slammed his face off the desk. Like it was a really disturbing movie and really unsettling and weird throughout, but like it really built up slowly up until the climax, and then
the last 20 minutes
resolution.
Basically.
Like it doesn't get intense, but like the whole time you're just like fuck, what's gonna happen, and like usually it's like little things like sleepwalking and dreams and stuff.
Yeah, I mean there was just for me there was no like consistent payoff. It was just like 2/3 of a 2-hour-long movie that was basically just all build up, and honestly it was mostly like family drama, which it was good. And it was definitely disturbing. I mean, the whole vibe of the film was excellent, and it was a technically put together, incredible film. Yeah, and like the cinematography, the acting, the score,
all of that was perfect.
Everything was phenomenal. But yeah, it just not enough was happening for me personally within like that 2/3, first 2/3 of the film, to really like make that much of an impact, and then it becomes this like completely different movie in like the last 20 minutes. Like it's intense as fuck, super disturbing. It has all that like shock value, like, oh shit, what's that in the back? Like, do you see that? Like all that kind of stuff, and people crawling on ceilings and shit like that. And it just felt like completely different, which it was just weird to me. It was like this displacement. Like I didn't.
And the movie really doesn't remind me of any other movie.
Oh, that's what I like. It's fairly like, original, yeah, for sure.
I mean, now there might be a lot of imitators because like we kind of got tired of jump scares, so I think they're gonna bring like a lot of build up and suspense, atmospheric conditions into the equation. Like you can't just have like these modern movies like and then something jumps out.
Yeah,
it doesn't work. Like there has to be a switch up, and I think this might be the catalyst.
I mean, I think we've definitely been seeing more and more of those movies, especially, I mean, I watch a lot more like independent horror than you do. Yeah. And so I have been seeing it, but I mean, this one I feel like is going to expose it to like the most amount of people that a film like this has, most likely, just because of all the attention that it's getting. And, big props to A24. I mean, they did a hell of a job marketing this film. It got, I think, almost 18 million gross at the box office over, opening weekend, and which is crazy.
A 91% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
That's almost unheard of for a horror movie.
No, yeah, I agree, man. I mean, listen, I think that it's a good movie.
Yes.
I just think that, first of all, it's not as scary as everybody's saying it is. It's definitely disturbing.
It is disturbing, but it was
like
weird,
panic-inducing. But I mean, not to that level. I don't think.
I don't think it was panic-inducing. Like,
not to me. Really.
I actually have problems with my heart rate, and my heart rate was like didn't really go up that much. So I I was really shocked.
Honestly, I was just more like intrigued than disturbed. I was like, damn, what's gonna happen to this family?
It wasn't like something that's gonna like hit you immediately, and you're like just scared, biting on your nails. Like,
right.
It's the shit you're gonna have nightmares about.
Right.
Like, it doesn't.
Or like that shit that you're gonna like see your family about and be like, damn, like what if
Yeah, like the side
paranoia.
Side effects don't hit you right away. You know, you have to let it settle a little bit. And we went Saturday, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
And honestly, my final thought, at least what's your rating on it?
My rating.
Yeah.
I think that
let's use a consistent rating system. Percentage wise, out of 100, what would you grade this?
Oh, percentage wise, I was gonna say I like to rate it out of like 5 stars because that's what like Letterboxd and stuff uses. So I actually gave the film 3 out of 5 stars, which or 3.5 out of 5. I'm sorry. So I guess in like percentage that would be
60%,
like 70% or 75%.
Because I was gonna say around like 75 to 80%, somewhere around.
Yeah, I would say that's more fair. I would say that's fair.
Like that'll be like the range for me. I would say upper 70s though. Honestly,
yeah,
like somewhere like 78.
Yeah, no, I can agree with that.
Suspense. It's like 95% suspenseful. The score, 100%. I love the score.
I love the cinematography too.
The cinematography, like,
even though some of those lingering shots definitely did feel too long.
They kind of made. Yeah, I was gonna say they kind of made the movie feel like it was being dragged on.
Okay.
Like I think those consistent shots, like those like where there's no switch of like the camera, like we just see like that one like
I like those.
consistent shot. I like those too. Like the very first shot of Halloween.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like those are good, but like that one was first person. But you know what I'm saying, like these longer shots, like. But they did a lot of them in this movie. Right?
Yeah, there were static shots too, so it definitely made it it made it feel a little bit longer. But I did really like the one with Peter.
It did not make it any less suspenseful though.
Oh no, like, that's why they're there.
It was super perfect. Like the I don't know, like they just had a nice combination of like every kind of shot.
Yeah, I agree. So I really enjoyed it for that fact. But the pacing, unfortunately for me, did feel a little clunky. It should have been a little quicker.
It felt forced too.
Yeah, it did a little bit. Or if there were just more consistent, like actual, I don't know, scares or real like supernatural stuff going on or something like that. Like spread out more throughout that like first 2/3, it wouldn't feel like an entirely different movie. Because honestly, I liked the last 20 minutes. A lot of people really loved like the first hour and a half, which I get that completely. But for me, I wished that more of the film felt like the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly my thought. I was gonna say like those 20 minutes though, out of this year, out of horror cinema, it's like some of the most exciting 20 minutes.
Oh, I agree.
It just
completely.
Like, I think the build up is it's worth it, but barely. Like
right. Yeah, exactly.
Like you kind of know there's something demonic going on when you saw the sigil, like because if you're familiar with any type of demonology, which I mean, you're a fan of these kind of movies, so you should be. You know that a sigil is never something, good.
Right.
I mean, you got like the good ones, but like no in horror movies, when do you see use this for protection? Like no.
Right. Like you suspect that something like weird's going on.
Yeah, especially with all these like cryptic books laying around that are like 400 years old.
Right. Exactly. Like I'll just have those in my house.
Right.
No big deal. So I think we're pretty much gonna wrap it up here. But yeah, that's what I would rate it. I would say like 79-80% out of 100. And it was a good film, don't get me wrong. It just felt a little too unevenly paced. The first like 2 acts and the third act were just so entirely different for the most part, and some of it was just a little too much, a little ridiculous. But overall, go check it out. I do recommend it. I would say that's probably equal with you.
Yes. I recommend it, but I'm probably not gonna watch it until a couple months after its Blu-ray release. Just brief. It's pretty long, honestly.
Take the things that we said into consideration, and obviously form your own opinion. But I feel like a lot of people are riding its dick, and I think it's. Listen, I'm gonna leave off with this.
But it's not like, bro. Stop acting like this is like the Titanic of like fucking horror. Like,
well, listen. A lot of people are saying. Long as shit. Bro. A lot of people are saying. I'm gonna leave off with these last 2 points. Tons of people are saying that it's this generation's Exorcist.
No,
definitely not. I don't even think it's this generation's Silence of the Lambs.
it's not even this generation's
I'm not.
fucking stay alive.
Oh shit.
No, it might be.
Maybe, but
It's kind of like I don't know. It feels like there's a different type of like paranormal horror at the forefront now. It doesn't feel like the Conjuring type or Insidious or Paranormal Activity. This is like a completely different branch.
I
like,
feel
this
like
this isn't so much over exaggerated as like some of those movies. Like
I feel like it might end up having the same kind of reputation as, say, Poltergeist.
yeah,
I'll say that.
yeah.
But the
I agree.
last thing I want to say is, no matter what you think of it, big props to Ari Aster, who was the director on this. It was his first feature film debut. So for his first, big screen movie, great job. Great job.
Congrats, bro.
And I hope that you enjoy the success.
Give us more stuff, man.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Hopefully the next movie he makes isn't Hereditary Part 2.
Yeah.
And we get another horror movie before that one that's like not a part of this.
I think he might do it.
I think so. I hope
Yeah,
so.
like not a sequel or something.
Yeah.
Or like a prequel. That would be the worst if it was a prequel. Oh my god.
I'd be upset.
Me too. So, yeah. If you haven't seen it yet, go check out Hereditary. I'm assuming you have seen it if you're listening to this, so let us know your thoughts, your ratings, if you agree with us, if you don't agree with us. I'm actually probably going to assume that a lot of people don't agree with us, so
Yeah,
we
people
can
are
have a discussion on it.
I mean, let's say Rotten Tomatoes didn't exist and all these publications didn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
How many people, without being influenced by social media or these journalists in general, would have been like, this is fucking amazing? I don't think a lot.
Yeah, I don't know.
There was a lot. I think the hype built it up because it was a good movie.
Yeah,
I'll say it was a very good movie.
It wasn't like perfect though.
It wasn't. It's not a pioneer of any kind of movement or anything. Like
yeah,
it didn't really do anything super new that hasn't been used in the past, but it did use it super effectively. Like the super long build up. And then like the craziness that ensued like once the climax started. Yeah. That's been done obviously. Like
it wasn't
in other movies. What
at the end of it, like the actual plot wasn't completely new or unique, honestly.
Yeah. Oh, there's a demon in the family, and
like we're part of this cult or whatever. Like we raised the demon.
That goes back to like Paranormal Activity. Like,
yeah. Even probably way more stuff even before that. But yeah.
Yeah. I'm saying as of recently, like.
Yeah. So let us know your thoughts on Hereditary. It's the big movie out right now.
Hereditary, good, not great.
Yeah. And I think we'll pretty much leave it off with that. So lastly, we're coming back to a segment that we missed last week, unfortunately, but is here now, and it is the chopping block. So this will be a quick one for you guys. We recently watched this movie, I believe on Saturday.
Yep. Right after Hereditary.
Yes, it was my first time actually watching it, and I know you had seen it like a long time ago.
Yeah, I watched it, I think, last year or the year before.
Okay.
Don't quote me.
Yeah, so it wasn't like completely fresh in your mind, but...
No, I didn't remember much.
It's Victor Garcia's The Damned from 2013. You can find this one on Netflix, and it's still pretty up there, like in trending on horror. I always scroll by it, but I never watched it until this past weekend. And
I had to show him.
Yeah, you told me good things about it, and honestly, I liked it.
There was like a lot of curiosity built up at the beginning because like they're obviously driving somewhere, the main characters, and then the water knocks them down. And they find the house. It's never good when you're stranded and you find the house, or when something happens to you. And there's a house with this old man. And people start exploring. They find out he has a little girl locked in the basement. They knock him out, tie him up. And, they think he's like some sort of weirdo, because he locked his daughter or granddaughter, whatever, in the basement.
Yeah.
And after they let her out, we find out she's a demon. So she...
Yeah. Well, yeah, we don't want to spoil what happens after that, but basically this little girl is something else or possessed by something else. And so the family, unfortunately, gets trapped in this house because of the storm and because their car's fucked up. Basically, it's kind of implied that they were led there, and you find out why later in the movie, but that kind of stuff is super common in horror movies, especially related around like this subgenre.
Yes.
But honestly, I like the way that it was put together. You know, it was to the point. I mean, the story really got into it pretty quickly within like the first 20 minutes, half an hour, which I liked.
Cinematography wasn't great. I'll say that.
Yeah, it wasn't.
They were they had most of the shots were like the
Very standard.
head to waist close up shots
Yeah.
of the characters, even when they were talking. Like
Yeah.
there wasn't any creepy panning. You know,
Mhm.
there wasn't like longer like moving shots. There wasn't any of that. You know, it was just
Yeah.
like this is going on. Switch to another camera. Switch to another camera.
I mean,
Look at this person's face.
there were some.
That was about it.
There were some more action-packed shots, which I liked. Actually, I did really like the cinematography. In one part later on in the movie, where they're like trying to escape in the car, and they like fucking drive into this, I don't know, lake or something, or pond or whatever. I won't say
That
what
did look
happened,
dope.
but I did enjoy the cinematography there. So it had its ups and downs, mostly downs. but
that was not like this isn't one of those.
yeah.
It was kind of atmospheric because it was a rainy day. It was dark.
Mhm.
You kind of not too dark, but it was just a gloomy day.
Yeah.
So you knew like
And it wasn't this like creepy rundown like guest house or whatever,
and they weren't in their native country either. So
Yeah, they were in like fucking, where were they?
I think they were somewhere in Central America or Mexico.
Yeah, I believe so. I don't remember where exactly.
But like I like the demon.
Mm-hmm.
I like the demon's voice. I like the fact that if you do a certain thing to the demon. So basically, I'll give a tiny little spoiler. This demon can't be killed.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll say that much.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't want to give out more than that, but so it does add this era of thrill to it, kind of, because once you learn that,
it's a really fun horror movie. Like
yeah,
you
I
can,
agree.
it has rewatch value too. You know, it's
Yeah.
not like a really long movie where like, oh, I already sat through this. I know the whole story. There's no mystery to it.
Mhm.
Like you can't just sit down and watch The Woman in Black like
yeah,
all these times, or like Shutter Island. You know, stuff like that. Like
Mhm.
those have rewatch value, but like maybe once a year, or every 2 years.
every
like,
now and then. Yeah, not like every day or every week or whatever.
Yeah, like I could watch Halloween though. Like
Yeah, that's a totally different movie. You know, like that's
Yeah.
how you feel
Like-
about that, and you know, it's just a classic. But the Damned was cool. It's definitely worth a watch. So I'm gonna say it's not chopped.
yeah, it's not chopped. You should check it out.
Yeah, it's fun. You know, it's entertaining. It's pretty standard, honestly, in almost every aspect. But actually, I thought that the acting was good. The special effects were okay. I mean, the CGI was
It wasn't modern either. It was like a mid 2000s. Like
yeah.
that was the feel of it.
that was
like,
kind of the feel. Yeah, I would agree.
like that's what I really liked about it. I
Yeah.
think that's what kind of like, because nowadays like there's like modern movies have like a stronger focus on cinematography and like
Mhm.
suspense, but like this was like straight to it. Like this was like you know, like the Grudge type shit. You know, like
Yeah, it's to the point.
shit just starts happening and it only escalates. That's what I liked about this. Like
Yeah, I
they
agree with that.
never got to a resolution, and everything they did got them deeper into shit.
Yeah, it started somewhere like earlier in the film, and it just kept escalating, like you just said. Yeah, I like that a lot, because
I
it's
do
kind of the
too.
opposite of what happened with Hereditary. Like
Yeah.
it just built and built and built and built, and then it was like boom, and then it just kept like that entire fucking like intensity throughout the rest of the film. So it was kind of weird, like displacing almost. Like I don't know.
You couldn't really read the characters either. Like,
Yeah,
that's what I liked about this. Like,
yeah.
especially once they got like, damn, I don't know. I'm not gonna ruin it. I'm not
Okay.
gonna ruin it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna ruin it.
I know what you mean though. So I liked it. Let us know what you think about it. If you do decide to check it out, I recommend it. But with that, I think we're probably going to wrap it up here with episode number 16. Again, the big story here is Hereditary. Please let us know what you think. I opened up a hashtag on Twitter. It's hashtag GD Hereditary, all one thing. So yeah, let us know what your thoughts are. Use that hashtag. And you know, we love to communicate with you guys on social media.
Yep.
And I'd also like to say, and I'm going to post this, but you know, if anybody has any suggestions on what they want to hear via the Cult Corner or the Chopping Block, especially since, you know, that's where we talk about all the like the new horror movies that come out on streaming services or even like on DVD or Blu-ray. You know, if you want to hear something about a particular one before you decide that you want to buy or check it out, let us know.
You guys got to give me like a good 80s horror movie that I haven't heard of, because I've heard of all of them.
Yeah, we could do that for the Cult Corner.
Yeah, that's
great.
what I want to do. They could like suggest something, like we could go to the Reddit users or like our tweeters, you know?
Yeah.
Like, have them like, yo, you guys know any good 80s horror movies?
Yeah.
For me, it's preferably like slasher, maniac movies, you know, or like creature movies.
Yeah, I like those too. Yeah.
Or like the 80s creature movies,
I
or like
kinda
the
like
demonic movies.
I kind of like finding the weirder stuff like From Beyond and things like that. But yeah, let us know what you guys think. If you have any suggestions, we'll be glad to take them. Other than that, though, I think we're pretty much done.
Yes.
And we'll see you next week.
On grave discussion.
This has been an SRD production.